So I know some of you might be already aware of what exactly cloud or definition of cloud, but still I'll cover a portion here. Okay, and then we will move on to the benefits of cloud. See, from the definition, there are many different definition from different provider. So we will take the definition from the top two cloud providers. So Amazon as a organization, they have offered this AWS or Amazon Web Services from, they have started this since 2005, right? So they have close to 18 years of experience in offering this cloud computing services. So what they define as cloud, so they call it as on-demand delivery of any IT related infra or application via cloud services platform through internet with pay as you go pricing model, right? That is what they have called it. So what they are trying to convey here is, see, in the past, what we used to do when we want to have some business application run, you will go and get that particular application created on your server or a physical server or virtual machine in your own corporate data center. And again, if there is no capacity, compute capacity or storage capacity, the IT team has to go and get the additional capacity from the service provider or from the hardware provider, and they have to kind of extend this capacity in order to provide that particular application, business application. So in this particular scenario, so you will have to work with your IT team, you will have to talk to them, then they will create a server for you, and after the server is provisioned, after the server is racked, stacked, cabled and connected to the network, you will go and install the application that you want, and you will use it for your business purposes. So it is all directly connected. You access the application over the LAN, local area network, intranet, and that is how the business used to operate. But now it's all over the internet, right? See, Amazon is providing the services from their data center in a particular location, and as a business user or an end user, you are accessing the services through the internet. And if you want 10 terabytes of storage tomorrow, you will get it tomorrow only. Okay, you don't have to wait until a few months. So if you want to provision, if you want a new virtual machine, you can get it right away. So it's all like on demand. Whenever you need more computing capacity, a new virtual machine or additional storage, or you need a new database for your application, you will get everything on demand. Whenever you need it, you get it, right? So that's how the cloud is modeled, and that's what they are defining. Amazon has defined on-demand delivery of. So on-demand means what? Whenever you need it, anytime, anywhere, or whatever you want, you can get it. So you will get it anytime, and you can also connect it from access it from anywhere, right? So you can access it from your home network, you can access it from cafe center or office network. So you can access it from anywhere. So you can access it anywhere all the time. So that is what they call it as on-demand delivery. And they are also mentioning any IT-related infrastructure or application. So it can be your compute, which is nothing but your CPU, memory, and if you want virtual machines, you can create it and so on. So here in AWS, we call it as EC2 instance. Instead of virtual machine, we use the term instance, right? And also you can get the storage, either data or database or whatever to store data. You will get storage capacity. Similarly, you will get a network for interconnecting your application or connecting your application with the internet or a different third party. You also get identity and access management solution. Then you also get security related products and stuff. So you get any IT related infrastructure or application. Even you will get web application or software as a service application, which is readily consumable, and you are accessing it using what? Cloud services platform. We call it as CSP. CSP stands for cloud services platform, and the cloud services platform from Amazon is Amazon Web Services. So that's what we call it as AWS, and this is the platform through which you are going and getting your products and or rather infra and application. See, you can relate it like this. Okay, so in the past, what you used to do when you want to have some food or you want to commute or you want to travel, you go and book it from a particular nearby provider or whoever is having a restaurant or whatever, right? But now you have good access to the internet. So things have changed, things have evolved. So now we are in a very modern internet era. So internet has evolved, and everyone has got internet connection in their mobile, and you have very good connectivity. So you can go and install some web application like what you call Swiggy or Uber or whatever, and you can start getting food, you can commute, you can do whatever, right? So that's the same concept we are using here. Through Amazon Web Services platform, through this web application, you go and get storage for storing more data. You get multiple virtual machine for running your business application. You go and get network related services to integrate with third party. So that is what you are getting. So Amazon Web Services is a web platform through which you go and order the products and services. Here we are ordering IT related infrastructure and application. So the example that I compared is on the regular routine life, but then so it's all because of the internet evolution. So internet has crossed, like we used to have 2G sometime back. Now it's all 5G and 5G plus in most of the countries. So the internet is evolving, the connectivity speed is evolving, everyone is getting connected to the internet. So you can access, you can request for anything anytime. So you are getting it instantly delivered, right? See, if you are looking for food, you are getting instantly delivered. Similarly, here in Amazon Web Services, if you need more storage, if you need more computing power, you will get instantly. The minute you ask for it, it will be self requested or self service, and you will get it provisioned in no time. So that's the advantage of the cloud computing that we are talking about. So when I say cloud computing, we are talking about the computing services. When you talk about just cloud, it can be any services, right? It can be commuting service or ordering food or whatever. And even the banking industry has evolved like anything. When you want to get some money or transfer some money, you have to go to nearby bank. But nowadays you are doing it through a web application, right? You go and log in and then you do all kind of transactions. So every industry is evolving, and for every industry they need a modern cloud computing platform to speed up their process, to speed up their business ideas, right? So if you want to listen to music, or if you want to read some book, what you used to do earlier, we used to go and get a CD or audio cassette, or you go and get a physical book those days. Now everyone is using cloud for listening to music. You are using Netflix for watching videos or movies. You are getting online ebooks. So you are doing everything over the web platform, web application. So Amazon Web Services is a web platform through which you go and get all the cloud related or IT infrastructure related services or application to run your business. And they are offering it through the cloud services platform. Similarly, Amazon or Microsoft has got Microsoft Azure, and similarly the third leading provider is Google, right? Google Cloud Platform, GCP. So we have many such providers, hundreds of cloud providers, but these are the top three, and we are going to focus more on Amazon Web Services. That is what we have opted to learn, right? They are the number one, and they are since 2005 in AWS is the leading provider, and Microsoft started 5 years later than Amazon. So they have got the most experience in providing the cloud computing services. And you are accessing it through what? So this is whatever I have listed here. These are all public cloud. Okay, so when I say public cloud, two things, right? So public cloud means any general public. So if you have a credential, or if you have credibility, or if you have some identity in a particular country, you can, as a general public, you can go and request for any system. See, even you have to learn, you have to create a free tier account, right? So any general public can go and create it. So that's why it is called public cloud. And you can access it using public internet. You don't have a special separate private network or a VPN network. You can access it from your home or from any public internet. If you have internet connection, you can access it. So that's the reason it is called public cloud. So you are accessing it through the internet. So AWS or Azure or GCP, these are all public cloud offering. Any customer, any individual, you can access it through the internet. And the final point that they are covering is pay as you go pricing model. It is nothing but your utility model. So you are paying as per the consumption. So you can call it as pay as you go model, or you can just say consumption based model. Consumption based model means you are consuming the services, you are creating VMs, you are accessing storage, you are storing data. So based on your actual consumption, you have to pay for it. It's like your utility model. At your home, you are consuming electricity, you are consuming water, and based on the consumption, every month or every 2 months, you get a bill and you pay for it. Similarly, in cloud, you don't have to pay anything upfront. So you have to consume what you want, and then after the month end or after particular period, you get a bill and you have to settle that bill. You have to pay for that, right? So this is what Amazon as a company has defined cloud. Similarly, the second top provider, Microsoft, right? They have made it very simple. Okay, so Microsoft says cloud computing is delivery of computing services via internet. That's how they have said. Okay, that's how they have mentioned it. So it's like very straightforward definition. But we will go with the first definition, which has come from Amazon, right? So Amazon has defined cloud as on-demand delivery of any IT-related infrastructure application via cloud services platform, which is Amazon Web Services. You are accessing it through the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing model. So there are 5 key elements in the definition itself, right? So they are conveying that you can access it instantly, you can access it from anywhere, anytime, all the time, right? And we are going and paying for it based on your actual consumption. And you can go and get all the resources in one particular platform, which is nothing but the Amazon Web Services platform, through which you can go and request virtual machine, storage, database, networking, whatever computing services that you need. Even on top of that, the cloud provider, they also give you additional tools and technologies to help you better your business. So they will give you machine learning related tools, artificial intelligence tools, and business intelligence tools to monitor your environment better, to enhance the business application usage. They will also give you additional tools and services to improve your business, right? So this is the definition of cloud. Okay, so if you have a different view, or if you want to give a different definition, feel free to share it, or any question on this definition, and we will move on to benefits if you don't have any question on the definition of cloud. See, sometimes there are interviewers who might ask, what do you feel as cloud, right? So you need to be able to explain them. So this is what you can go with standard term, okay? If in case you don't, so you don't have to kind of really create your own version of cloud definition. Instead, you can follow the definition from the cloud provider, the leading cloud provider, Amazon. So now we will move on to the cloud benefits. See, there are many benefits. We will pick and choose maybe top 15 or 20, so that we can see. We are going to discuss about cloud for the next 3 months, right? So we will get to understand what are the benefits on each of the areas, like storage, networking, database, identity and access management. But we will start to understand the generic benefits around all these services. Then we will go on to understand the different stuffs, right? So now let's talk about the cloud benefits. So there are some standard terms that you might see in the exam, or you might see in Microsoft or Amazon book. The very first one you generally see is trading the capital expense, or trading capex into opex, is what the standard first definition they will have. So what they are referring here is the consumption based model is what they are trying to convey. So here capex refers to capital expenditure, right? Capital expenditure. And the opex refers to operational expense or expenditure, right? So capital expenditure is what you are doing upfront investment in capital expenditure. So when you want to have your own data center, you have to have a upfront investment. See, that's what I showed you, right, in the PPT slide. So if you want to have more storage, or if you want to have additional servers, or if you want to have additional networking gear, you have to go and purchase the physical server, purchase the license, purchase the networking switches or routers. So you have to invest upfront, and then you run the business application on top of those IT resources, hardware resources, and then you get the benefit after the end users are consuming those business application. Whereas here it is completely opposite. You don't have to pay anything upfront. You go and create, deploy, and request for resources that you need, and you get those resources provision, and based on the actual consumption in terms of quantity or capacity, you have to pay for the actual consumption. So they are saying no upfront investment. That is the first point. You don't have to invest anything upfront. You can go and start using it like a utility model, and then based on your usage, based on your consumption, you can pay for it. So operational expenses based on the operational activity. So after you create it, you are going and operating it, using it, and then you have to get you will get a bill, and you have to settle that bill. So that is the first point, right? Next point is around benefiting from massive economies of scale, or massive economies of scale. So here they are talking about their global scale, their availability. Okay, so as a cloud provider, both Amazon, Microsoft, or Google, they have created, or they have deployed a lot of data centers, a lot of their global presence in most of the region, or most of the countries. So wherever you think you can do business, all those countries are almost covered. And again, the next benefit that they are covering from massive economies of scale. See, when the cloud is expanding, when the customer base is increasing, the prices will also get reduced. So prices are reduced as the usage increases. So what they are saying is, when the customer base increases, so you can benefit from the large scale of usage. See, it's more like see, when in the past we used to have individual houses. So we used to have a lot of space, we used to have a lot of real estate, but nowadays how the cities are being dealt with, we are going and living in a gated community or flat community, where you are going and sharing the ground space, and you are making a lot of benefits. See, when you are sharing a particular living space with multiple tenant, you automatically get the benefit. If there is a issue with your lift, or if there is a issue with generator, or if there is a issue with water supply or swimming pool or whatever shared amenities, you are paying only for the shared cost. It's like a shared pooling. It's not like a complete ownership. It's like a shared resource pooling, where you go and share the expenditure with other tenants. So here in the cloud, when the tenants increase, automatically your share will the cost will come down. So that's what they are trying to convey here. The next important point is, stop guessing capacity. See, in the traditional world before the cloud, what we used to do, we used to talk, the IT team, whoever is managing the IT data center or the IT application, they will talk to the corporate business owner, and then they will ask, for your business application, what is the sizing that you are looking at? How many users will access it? How much of CPU, memory, and storage you needed? So most of the times, the business application owner, they might give less resources, or they might anticipate very high usage, and they will provision too much. If you are provisioning too much, the unused capacity will go waste in your on premises. If you have provisioned less, then there will be performance issue, there will be dissatisfaction from your end users. So here in the cloud, you don't have to really guess the capacity. You can go and provision the minimal resources to start with. You can provision 4 CPU, 16 GB, and then some quantity of storage. Over the period, when the usage increases, you can keep expanding. So if in case you are concerned about the performance, you can stick with some standard sizing, so that there is no performance impact. So here we are talking about capacity. You don't have to really worry about in the cloud. It is virtually unlimited capacity. So based on your usage, based on your actual requirement, you can go and increase your capacity in the cloud in a matter of few seconds. In the on premises, if you want to expand your storage or expand your computing power, you have to wait for months together to get more disks added to the storage array, or getting more CPU or memory. You have to wait for a few weeks, or a few days, or few months actually. But here, within few seconds or few minutes, you can keep expanding your capacity. When we talk about storage disk capacity, you can increase it without any downtime. You can increase it on the fly. So capacity is not a worry in the public cloud. Next one is about the increased speed and agility. So when I say agility or speed, we are talking about the time to market here. So some terms you might be getting, I mean, you might hear it for the first time, but yeah, if you read it again and again, you will get used to it. Okay, so here we are talking about quick deployment of application. So we are quickly deploying the application. So let's do one thing instead of okay, so here we are talking about capacity, performance, and so on. And here we are talking about global scale. Fine. So I just want to rearrange so that there is no confusion there. So when I talk about speed, agility, so nowadays, if you are if you have a business idea, if you want to create some business application, you need to have some development environment, or to prove the concept, to do a proof of concept, you need to have a testing environment or a testing system. See, in the premises, again the same challenge, right? You need to ask the IT team to get you some resources created, or to provision some virtual machine with a particular operating system, and the particular prerequisite will be installed, and they will give you that. If they don't have capacity, you'll have to wait until they bring it. Okay, so here in the cloud, when a particular business owner or an application owner, they have got some business idea, or they want to create some business application, the moment they have the idea, they can go and request for the storage, or server, or application as a service. So you can go and get whatever you need to support. When I say application as a service, even you can get database as a service, backup as a service, and all those stuff. So here it is all self-service actually. So you go and log into the portal. It's like self-service portal. You go and log in, and then you can request for the resources that you are looking for, and it will be getting provisioned very quickly. But here you have to talk to humans, you have to talk to IT team, you have to talk to the sales team, the finance team, to get the approval. The sales team have to approve that this particular device is as per the norms of the organization, and you go and procure it. And then once the hardware is delivered, you have to rack it, stack it, cable it, and then you have to do a lot of work, firmware upgrade, and so on. But here you get the systems provisioned on the fly instantly, and then you can go and do the testing or development activities, and then once the application is ready for consumption, you take it to the market for the end user to consume. So the time taken in the premises, as compared to the cloud, within in the cloud, you can sell your business application within a matter of few minutes, or a few days, whereas on premises it takes 4 months to 6 months to convert your business idea into an application, because there is a lot of stuffs involved in procurement and delivery of the IT equipments. But here it is, time to market is very quick. You can when you have a business idea, when you have a business application, you can take the business application very quickly to the end users. That is what we call it as time to market, taking the business application for end user consumption. It's very quick in public cloud. And the next important point is going global in your business journey, right? When I say going global, as I told you earlier, Microsoft or Amazon or any cloud provider, they have got their global presence. They are geographically present in almost all the countries, all the important cities that you might think of. And now, if you are doing better in a particular country or in a particular city, if you want to expand your business in a different city or a different country, different geographical region, you can quickly clone it. You can quickly what do you call, you can just templatize the deployment. You can copy the template, copy the clone the environment, and you can create exactly similar environment what you have in the primary location. And for example, if you are doing good business in India and you want to expand it in Singapore or UK or US, you can just clone the existing environment to a different geographical data center from Amazon or Microsoft, and you can become a global company in few minutes. But whereas if you as your customer, see, if you have a business presence in one particular location, you have this data center in one location. And similarly, if you want to have a similar business sold in a particular country or a particular location, you have to completely duplicate the physical infrastructure as well as the application or whatever lying on top of that. So it might take too much time to to get a data center like this. And on top of that, if you want to migrate, or if you want to copy the applications or the content to a different geographical data center, it will take months together. Okay, but whereas here, if you want to become a global company, if you want to expand your business in different geographical regions, you can go global in minutes, okay, or in a couple of days or in quick days. Okay, that is what we are talking about here. And the next one, you can stop spending your money on maintaining the data centers. Okay, so here you don't have to really worry about running the data center. The data center, the physical components like your physical server, physical storage, physical network, it's all maintained and managed by the cloud provider. So some of you might have question, if the physical storage, physical server, physical network is managed by cloud provider, what we are doing there? See, things have evolved over the period, right? So I talked about the internet era, and we had sometime like maybe 15 years back, we had this concept of virtualization, right? So virtualization era. So there has been a lot of enhancement. So 20-25 years back, when we want to run a business application, what we used to do, we have to get a physical server. On that physical server, you will go and install a single operating system, and on that single operating system, you go and run a single application or a couple of applications. See, when you run couple of application, the challenge is, if one application needs downtime, you have to bring the other application also down. So generally, as a business, we generally use one application to run on a one critical application to run on a one physical server. But after virtualization, what has happened? So instead of having one physical server running one application, we have started getting a lot of technologies or a lot of hardware enhancement has happened, right? So 25 years back, 4 GB of memory is a very big thing, right? Nowadays, 4 terabytes of memory is a small thing, right? That's how technology, physical technology has also evolved, and a lot of compute or CPU related technology has evolved. Everything around us are evolving. Even on the storage side, we used to have CD, DVD. Even before that, we used to have floppy. Now we have solid state drives. We have the flash drive, and we also have the NVMe flash drives or SSD drives, which are much faster. You get better performance, you get very good input output speed, you get very good throughput in those modern technology disk, right? So everything around us are evolving. CPU technology, memory technology, storage. So whatever you think of, everything is evolving around us. So that is also helping the cloud getting better at what they are doing, right? So now in the past, when we want to have an application run, you go and get a physical server. On top of that, you install a operating system, and on top of the operating system, you go and run your application. After installing all the prerequisite development platform and stuff, you go and do it. So here, if you have one physical server running one operating system and one application, see, this was fine 25 years back, because at that time you get a very less capacity on the physical server. You get maybe like a couple of GBs on 4 GB on a physical server. Nowadays you are getting mobile with 12 GB as a normal thing, right? But those days, this is how it used to be, like 4 GB of physical server, and running one operating system with one or 2 GB used for operating system, and remaining will be used by application. So that is not a big um resource wastage at that time. But then over the period, we have got very huge physical servers. We used to get physical servers with terabytes of memory and petabytes of storage available to consume. So in that case, if you are running one application on one physical server, definitely there is a resource wastage. So what has happened in maybe like 20 years or maybe 15 years back, on the physical servers, we can install a hypervisor, which is nothing but an operating system that can provide you virtualization capabilities. So what exactly virtualization capability we are talking about? So you have the physical server, and within the physical server, what it is giving you, it is giving you physical CPU, physical memory, physical storage, and so on. And if you want to run an operating system, that operating system will look for what? It will look for its independent bias. It will look for CPU memory on specific sizing, and only then you will be able to install that particular operating system. And this virtualization operating system hypervisor, what it will do is, it will go and virtualize the hardware resources. So it will make the resource pooling activity. So it will bifurcate, or it will split the physical resources into logical resources, and it will give it for your virtual machine. So you can go and run virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, and so on, so that the virtualization OS, the hypervisor, it does the physical into logical conversion. So all your physical resources will be shared across multiple virtual machines, and you can keep running your different operating systems. See, the advantage of virtualization, I can list top 5 advantages. See, here you can have 32-bit operating system. Here you can have 64-bit operating system. I think there was a small network glitch. Okay, so you can have the advantages of virtualization, or you can have 32-bit OS running on the same physical hardware. You can have 64-bit OS running on the same hardware. You can have Linux, you can have Windows, you can have Windows 2012, you can have Windows 2022 or 2016. So you can have mix and match of different architecture of OS. You can have different flavor of OS. You can have different version of OS. You can have different edition of OS. You can have standard edition, enterprise edition, and whatever you want it. So here with virtualization, the primary advantage that we got, one physical server, you can run only one application, one operating system. Here in one physical server, you can have 10 to 15 virtual machines and 10 to 15 different application. And if you want to bring down this operating system, or if you want to start and stop the application on this particular VM, it is not going to impact the other virtual machines that are running on the same physical server. So you get isolation, you get the benefit of running whatever OS you want, and you can run all of them in parallel. So in the past, if you want to have two different operating systems like Linux and Windows, you have to run them as a dual operating system. You have to bring down one in order to boot the other operating system. Here, unlike that, you can run the parallel virtual machines, and you can run parallel operating systems to keep your business applications up and running. So with virtualization, it has reduced the footprint of your data center. So when I say reduce the footprint of your data center, earlier, if you want to have 100 or 1000 application, so you need to have at least 1500 physical servers. So why 1000 application and 1500 physical servers? The reason is you might have multiple different environment for your application. You might have development environment, testing environment, pre-production, production environment, and you might also need some utility services like your Active Directory, or DHCP, or DNS, or Radius, or whatever utility related services. You need to have separate systems for that. So generally, you need to have 1500 physical server for 1000 applications. Similarly, in the current virtualization enabled data center, for 1000 application, see, one particular server can have up to what? 10 different applications, or 10 different virtual machine. If you take that, so you just need 150 physical servers only. So instead of 1500 physical servers, the complete physical footprint has got reduced, because in one physical server itself you can go and run 10 business application, 10 different utility applications. So that means you are just drastically reducing your data center. When the number of physical server comes down, see, for example, if you are having 1500 physical server, let's take one rack will have up to 15 or 10 systems. You need at least 100 racks to have these 100 to 150 racks to have this 150 physical servers. Similarly here, if you are talking about 150 physical servers, we just need only 10 racks. I'm talking about the rack where you go and rack and stack your server, right? So this is the rack I'm talking about. So on the rack only, you will have a network switch on the top, you will have servers, you will have storage at the bottom based on the weight of the equipment. You will have, generally you'll have storage at the bottom, you will have the servers stored here, and you will have the network switch for every rack, because you have to interconnect the racks or interconnect the servers. So you will have a top of the rack switch. Okay, similarly, not only the physical servers, right? With 10 racks, you will just have only 10 switches to interconnect your servers with other external systems. Here you will have to have 100 switches and 100 storage or whatever, right? So it exponentially has reduced the physical footprint. So we are talking about reducing the physical footprint of your data center. Your racks have come down, your physical servers have come down, number of network switches, storage, everything has come down in a quantifiable size. Okay, so if you think about this in a little more details, for 1500 servers, think about power consumption, electricity consumption. It will be it will be a lot of money, right, to get power for 1500 servers. So for 150 servers, it will definitely has reduced a lot of cooling. And if you think about cooling, 1500 servers will emit a lot of heat. And here we are talking about only 150 servers, so you need very less power in terms of the hardware consumption. Plus, to mitigate the heat coming out of these systems, you need a less amount of cooling, air conditioning. Okay, so that means like you are saving a lot of money in different areas, not just on the physical servers. You are saving money around power, cooling, and even on your backend generators or whatever equipment that you have in your data center. You can save a lot of cost there. Climate control systems and surveillance, and to have 10 racks, how much real estate space you want? You need very less space, right? If you have 100 racks, you need to have huge amount of data center space. See, this is another main reason why cloud computing becomes successful. Okay, without virtualization, just give me a second, I'll just acknowledge this call. Sorry about the interruption. This e-card delivery, I have to guide him. Sorry. So what I was talking about around the virtualization, right? So with virtualization, there has been a lot of reduction in terms of the physical footprint, and you are able to save a lot of cost in terms of running very less systems. Just one second. This guy is again troubling me. One. Sorry, guys. What I'll do is I'll just complete this point. So he's waiting for me, and I'll have to go and pick it up. Okay. So let's do one thing. So here, the very important next benefit is about the virtualization related point that I was talking about. With virtualization, things have the data center space has completely come down, and based on the data center physical resources getting reduced, automatically you can see a lot of benefits in terms of power, cooling system, and the number of racks, the number of hardware you need to maintain. See, if you are talking about 1,500 servers, think about the manpower that is needed to maintain that data center. So you need to have at least 10 to 15 physical persons taking care of all these physical servers when there is a problem with your physical server, memory issue, or storage disk failure, or whatever, right? You have to spend a lot of time in rectifying that. But if you talk about 150 systems, it's about few people, right? You can have only half the number of people to maintain the physical data center. See, that is what cloud has made use of. So virtualization is one of the key important concept that has helped cloud to be very small, and cloud data centers to be very small in size. Okay, so you if you think of cloud data centers with a small space, they are able to run multiple servers, and they are able to provide applications for different customer. So that is what the next important benefit here we are talking about. We don't have to really worry about stop spending money on your maintenance of your data centers or running data centers. So the cloud provider, Microsoft or Amazon, is going to maintain the physical data centers for you. But the logical layer, the virtual layer. So here we are talking about the virtual machines and the connectivity from one VM to another VM, integrating one operating system application to another application. So the virtual networking, virtual server, virtual storage. So all these are being managed by the customer. The only the physical data center footprint will be managed by the IT provider. The cloud computing provider will only take care of the physical data center space. They will give you infrastructure as a service, whereas the logical layer, the virtual machines, virtual storage, virtual network, as a customer, you need to maintain them, and you need to enable proper security and proper standards, best practices being followed. So as a customer, we need to worry about the logical side of it, virtual side of it, whereas the physical maintenance of the data center is taken care by the cloud computing provider. Okay, so these are all the top 6 benefit. So we'll also talk about the other capabilities and special areas. So I'll have to go